Welcome to Nerd on Nerd with me, Jack Hemster.
And me, Liam Underwood. In this episode, we're going to be talking about Preacher, Book 1. But before we get to that, it's time for my favourite segment, Catching Up with Jack and Liam. So, tell me, Jack, what's new with you this week?
I've been playing video games again, Liam. I'm back into video gaming.
I didn't know you'd ever kind of stopped.
See, I didn't either. Like, I've been playing a lot of indie games recently, like for quite a few months, just like small little release games. And then the other day I was like, you know what, I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to buy myself Batman Arkham Knight and Just Cause 3. And I realised that I haven't really been properly gaming. I've just been sitting there, you know, watching shit, playing games that you don't need to interact with too much.
Yeah,
and then suddenly
the sort of games you can have on in the background, like there's something to do.
They don't need me to constantly
elsewhere.
be. Yeah, I don't need to be sitting there going, "What's happening?" There's not a storyline really.
See, right? I know we don't see eye to eye when it comes to trophy hunting, but I find once you've completed a game, let's take Uncharted for example, you complete it and then you need to go back looking for trophies and whatnot because you've already experienced the story. While you're going back looking for the artifacts and the treasures and stuff. You can be doing that and then have like a podcast or something on in the background, so you're not giving it your full attention. Yeah,
but this is the thing. I have other games to like not kill time, but I have games that I don't need to be paying attention to, so I don't need to. I don't with the big AAA games. I don't need to go back. Like I'm not trying to kill time with them. Like for me, it's like once I finish the story, I'm like I don't know. The story's done. Like it's like I wouldn't go back and replay. I tried to go back and replay the first Mass Effect, and I can't. Because my story's done. Yeah,
but that's a game where your role in it is so integral to how the game unfolds.
What game are you thinking of where your role isn't integral to the story?
Well, something like Uncharted.
Batman Arkham Knight. No, you're right. Batman Arkham Knight. Nothing to do with you. You're just witnessing all this shit go down.
Yeah, there's a lot of games where
got much to do with it.
Yeah, like I think Mass Effect has a lot of your decisions affect the game, but there's a lot of games where you are literally just kind of witnessing and sort of interacting with the story as it unfolds, but nothing you do can change it though.
Like, it's still a story, and I wouldn't... If I finish a movie, my first reaction isn't to rewatch the movie.
Depends how good the movie is.
No, but even then, I'm talking about, like, straight away, because that's the equivalent of this. Is like, you're finishing a game, and then you're like, what are the trophies I've got to get? Sort of thing.
Yeah.
Right? With a film, I wouldn't immediately... Say I just watched a new Blu-ray of, like, Judge Dredd, and I'm like, I fucking love Judge Dredd, so I'm going to rewatch it. Because I want to catch all the Easter eggs I didn't get the first time.
Would you maybe say, I've just watched Judge Dredd on Blu-ray, now I'm going to watch the extras?
I thought you were going to say, on Blu-ray, would you then watch it on DVD?
No.
Lower quality, sir.
You've then got the extras, where, it's like the movie, but
I don't watch
different.
extras that much.
Well, but I imagine that's because you probably download a lot of your movies, so it doesn't come with
not
extras.
Not necessarily. I've got quite a few DVDs that I actually own that I haven't watched the extras on.
Fair enough. But do you see I get
what
that analogy? Yeah.
I get what you're saying. But yeah, like you say, I think we both just disagree on how we
play games.
Go about those games. Yeah.
I mean, I think as long as we both enjoy them the way we do play them, then it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And what's good about gaming, really, is the fact that we can enjoy them in different ways, but still enjoy them.
Exactly. I mean, you get that with anything. Like, you could do that with films as well.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, I imagine people sit there and just think about the director and, like, they're like, oh, that's a beautiful shot that guy's just done there. Don't know.
Or maybe they look at it from a special effects view. Like, they watch the movie for the story and then they go back and watch it to see how the special effects were done or something, perhaps.
Yeah, just seems weird.
Or maybe going back and watching it with, like, the director's commentary or something.
That's right, I've never done that either. Never. Or have I? Oh, I might have done a director's commentary of, like...
Kevin Smith movies are pretty good to watch with his commentary.
Not a big fan of Kevin Smith.
Well, maybe not for you then, but for those that are. I tried it with Lord of the Rings, but the issue is, with the extended editions, they haven't kind of got the whole cast together to talk all at once. So what they've done is that they've got, like, little groups of the cast together, and they've all recorded commentaries for, like, their scenes.
I think I might have watched some of the Lord of the Rings ones.
Yeah. It's kind of disappointing. Yeah, because
you want it to be... You almost want it to be, like, a podcast... But, or not a podcast, but like a what's it, like Mystery Science Theatre? Like the way they used to talk over a film or whatever.
Yeah, where they're watching it with you talking.
Yeah. That's how you picture director's commentary, is the director being like, oh, this is one of my favourite scenes in the film.
Yeah, so one good thing, it's not a movie, but Ross Noble's stand-up DVDs normally come with a lot of extras, and one of them, there's a commentary where I think there's 3 different cuts or something of his stand-up. Like, he's done it at 3 different locations, and he says, right, this is a version of the commentary you can watch where I'm going to sit down and record it all at once. So if you want to spend your day, you can sit down kind of with me. We'll have a pizza break in the middle where we'll order pizza together, and we can kind of go through all of this content together. And I think that's kind of the way to do it.
Yeah, no, that sounds quite interesting.
Yeah, I'd like just for the extras, the Ross Noble stand-up DVDs are normally pretty good value.
Fair enough.
Anyway, we were sidetracking. You were gaming again.
I've been gaming. I've been playing Just Cause 3 and Batman Arkham Knight.
Right, we see differently when it comes to Arkham Knight, because I wasn't a huge fan of it.
I think it's an incredible game. I think it's the best one in that trilogy.
I haven't played City, but I really enjoyed Asylum.
City was good. Like, the other 2 games are brilliant as well. But I think they just, like, because the big complaint everyone had with Batman Arkham Knight was the Batmobile stuff.
Yeah, I hate it.
And that's your issue with it as well, yeah. And it's not great, but it's such a minor part of the game unless you make it a major part of the game. Like, I ended up flying around the city more than I did driving.
Yeah, and I think I hated the driving missions apart from the stuff with the Riddler. I liked that, but I would have been happy if that was all that you used the Batmobile for.
But then, like, there's only maybe like 2 missions or 3 missions in the main story that you actually have to use the car.
Yeah, but again, right, this is if you just do the main story. I like to do all the side missions as well.
I'm to get to the point in the game that I got to, because the game ends, then you have to complete a certain number of those side missions to get the ending.
Yeah.
Then you have to complete 100% of the game to unlock the true ending.
Yeah.
So I've got that second one. Like, I've not 100%ed it, but I'm close.
Okay.
And like, so I've done a lot of those vehicle ones, and the vehicle ones are the bombs that are buried under the ground.
Yeah.
That's one that you have to use the vehicle for.
Yeah.
And sometimes, rarely, it's the convoys. It's also so there's only 2 that use it.
Yeah, but it's not like you only do it twice. You have to do those missions several times.
Yeah. But they're not like, when you look at how much is in that game, I don't know, it just seems weird to me, because when you look at it, there's so much content in this game that isn't that. I don't understand how that being in it can ruin the game. Like, just fucking don't do those missions.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it ruined the game. I found that stuff particularly repetitive and tedious. But I think it was maybe just one of those issues where the game felt too big. So it's like I never could really get into it because there was always so much to be doing that I actually find that a little bit off-putting sometimes.
But then, see, this is the thing. Like, I would have, at certain times I'd be playing it and I'd be like, I'm not in the mood to do the main story.
Yeah.
So I'd go and do a load of side missions, just be doing content like that. And then I'd power through a chunk of the main story and just do like 5 missions in a row, all of the main story, just not worry about the side quests. Like, it doesn't stop you. Like, if that's the issue, just don't worry about the side quest till later, sort of thing. Like, I get it if it was like, because some games do, like, here's the main story, and then it's like, where's the next mission? Oh, it's locked because I haven't done enough side content. And that's bullshit. But this one doesn't do that. It doesn't stop you.
And how's Just Cause 3?
It's okay. It's terrible story. It's what you expect from a Just Cause game. It's fucking fun mayhem, but the missions are silly and not great.
Fair enough. So, what else have you been up to this week?
I've got one other thing that I've done, Liam, that I can think of, and that's I saw the movie Inside Out.
Yeah.
I cried like a little baby in that film quite a few times, and I was worried that was just me. Like, I know I get emotional at films.
Yeah, you do.
But I was having some drinks with some of the guys at the youth group I help at yesterday, and I said to one of them, I was like, oh yeah, I watched Inside Out, because I know he likes those kind of films, and he was like, oh yeah, it's a good film. And then I was like, yeah, I was crying at bits that aren't sad, and he was like, yes, yeah, 100%. So I don't think it's just me, but there are literally bits in that film that aren't sad. Like, you'll be watching a scene, you're like, this isn't an emotional scene, but you'll just be upset and start, like, I was just crying, and I was like, I'm not even on a sad bit of the film, I'm just crying.
See, I have the film to watch, I haven't seen it yet. I was going back and kind of doing Pixar from Toy Story onwards.
I'm going to watch everything.
Yeah. I'm up to Ratatouille, that's my next one, which I've never seen before as well. There's like a couple of Pixar films I've never seen before, like WALL-E is another one.
Oh, WALL-E's really good.
Yeah, so I've been kind of building up to Inside Out, I'm just not there yet.
I don't know, it's really good.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to eventually getting there. The issue is, like, I haven't been spending a lot of time watching my film collection lately, because I've been going to the cinema a lot. Did you see
none of
that?
us
Did
know
you
that,
see
yeah.
that segue? That is a segue.
brilliant.
So Liam went to the cinema, and this is his spoiler-free reviews of the films that he saw at the cinema since we last recorded. So
I like that you add that little caveat at the end.
Yeah.
Since we recorded.
I went to see Batman vs Superman again.
But Liam, you've seen that one before we last recorded.
Yeah, I saw it the second time.
There we go.
That's why I said I went to see it again.
I just wanted you to make sure, mate. I wanted our listeners to know.
I did say I went to see it again. So as our more dedicated listeners would know, we recorded a whole podcast about our thoughts on Batman vs Superman. So if you haven't listened to that, go check that out. The reason why I wanted to watch it again was because I was so excited on my first viewing that I wasn't sure if that was maybe clouding my judgment. So I thought I'd go and see it again with a maybe more... no, what's the word I'm looking for?
No, because it's not... Because what you want to say is you go in with an more open mind.
Yeah.
You didn't. I don't believe you. I don't think you went in and you went, I'm going to try and understand why Jack didn't like this film.
No, that wasn't my thing.
Happened.
I went in and I was just like, right, maybe now I can watch it without all of that excitement kind of interfering my thoughts. And I still just really enjoyed it. Like, it feels like a comic book movie that's kind of been made almost specifically for me. It gave me everything I've been wanting out of comic book movies for a while now. So 4 out of 5, I super enjoyed it still. The next movie I went to see was The Huntsman, Winter's War.
I saw your tweet about The Huntsman. I can't believe you gave it a 3.
The thing is...
That's high. You said average. 3 is high.
I will admit, 3 is maybe high. The thing is, so before the night before I watched Snow White and Huntsman, because I'd never seen it before, I'm a fan of Kristen Stewart and Chris Hemsworth, but even that couldn't kind of save the film for me. Why I gave The Huntsman Winter's War a 3 is because it is better than Snow White and the Huntsman, which is a 2. So maybe 3 is a little bit generous. The saving grace for The Huntsman Winter's War is Nick Frost returns as one of the dwarves, and this time there's Rob Brydon, who is a new character, and in the film he's Nick Frost's half-brother.
Right.
And they provide a lot of comic relief. So there was definitely a couple of times where I was chuckling along. So it was better than I was expecting it to be. I think I might just tweak that to a 2 still. I think 2 out of 5 is still fair. 3 is maybe a bit too generous. But, if you dig the first one, definitely give this a go. I'd say it's better. Then I went to see Hardcore Henry. Do you know anything about that?
No idea.
It's been... You might have seen the director is this Russian guy, and he's done some YouTube music videos where they're stunts and fighting, but they're all filmed with a GoPro.
Oh, okay.
Bad Motherfucker is one of them. It probably is the most popular one.
No idea.
Okay. So the entire movie, it's 96 minutes, and it's all filmed from a first-person perspective. You're like a cyborg, your wife gets kidnapped, you have to fight your way across Russia to save her.
Okay.
It's not very good.
No. Immediately, the first person, that... Yeah. I don't know a film where that's worked. The most memorable one that springs to my mind is the absolute shite movie, Doom, which has a first-person camera sequence at the end. And is one of the most atrocious pieces of film history. Yeah.
I can't think of any examples where it's worked. Especially, I think this is the first time they've done it for a whole movie. And the issue is, it's like watching someone else play in a video game.
Yeah.
Which is never as fun as playing it yourself. And it therefore is just a kind of frustrating movie experience, because you're like, this isn't a fun experience.
Yeah.
So 1 out of 5 would not recommend.
Nice.
And then the last movie I went to see was Midnight Special, which
I didn't have high hopes for, but you did before, didn't you? We were talking about it maybe last week.
I was curious.
Right, okay.
I didn't know a lot about it, and I say it is better to go in knowing nothing. So I'm not going to say anything about the story. All I'll say is something happens in the final act, and it kind of, I think people will either really respond well to it, or like me, it'll kind of dampen it a lot, because I was enjoying the mystery and seeing it unravel. By the final act, it felt like the juice wasn't worth the squeeze.
Yeah, got you. Just an unsatisfactory ending to this mystery they're building in the film.
And all I'll say is this movie feels clearly indebted to Spielberg, and by the third act, it kind of becomes really obvious what film. I don't want to say what film, because that will give too much away, but it was just... I was enjoying it up to that point, and then it was disappointing. Adam Driver's in it, and he's probably the best part of it, in my opinion.
Fair enough.
I'm still going to say 3 out of 5, because the majority of the movie is fun. It's just... Maybe fun's not the right word. Interesting.
Yeah.
But the ending lets it down. And that's all the movies I saw at cinema this week.
Oh.
That's not all I've been doing. The other thing, and it's not playing with my penis, because I know that's something we do like to discuss on this show, and I did have a go at shaving my balls recently, which was a relative success. Have you ever tried it?
I don't want to talk about it.
No, but have you ever tried it?
What, shaving my balls?
Yeah, like not just trimming, but like
No.
an actual razor on skin.
No.
Yeah, I was really apprehensive, but my curiosity got the better of me, and I was really bored one day.
That's just such a terrible reason.
It's a bad combination. Now, what I would say, if anyone listening is thinking about this, because I know we have a lot of male listeners, there is one unexpected thing to be prepared for if you decide to give this a go, and that's like thigh rubbing. Like, I never really noticed my balls sort of chafing on my thighs before, but now it's kind of a prominent concern of mine.
I don't think anyone needs to know that.
They don't need to. They want to. That's the worrying thing.
I don't think they do.
Well, they do. But yeah, I've been watching a couple of shows on Netflix. Now, the first one I've recommended to you before. It's called Love. That took me a couple of episodes to get into, but I really ended up enjoying it, so I highly recommend it. The second is a show called Flaked, which is written by and stars Will Arnett.
Oh, okay.
Now, I really struggled getting a handle on the tone of this show. Like, it's not out and out comedy. It's quite dramatic, and his acting is phenomenal in it.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. Every episode, I just couldn't quite figure out if I was really liking it or not, because it is just a bit tonally inconsistent. It's real interesting though. The premise: he is a recovering alcoholic. 10 years ago, he got drunk, was in a car accident and killed someone. So the show takes place 10 years after that, and he lives in Venice Beach, and he's quite he helps with he attends Alcoholics Anonymous. No, I'm saying that wrong. Let me try that again.
Anonymous.
He lives in Venice Beach, and he attends Alcoholics Anonymous and helps other people.
Okay.
But he's also he's also quite a selfish character. It's just a real hard show I found to wrap my head around. So it was good enough that I want to see a second season, and I would recommend you watch it just because I need someone to kind of explain to me what I saw, because I can't quite get a handle on it, just tonally. But it was decent. Okay. I don't think I did the best job of selling it.
I'll give it a watch.
Yeah. Now, the other show I've been watching, which we've briefly discussed, and I'm not going to go into spoilers, but season 6 of The Walking Dead finished last week.
Yeah.
No spoilers, because I know
Thank you.
You're not up to date yet. You said you were going to spend the weekend catching up.
And then I watched Inside Out instead.
Right. That's a 2-hour movie.
I was emotionally distraught for hours.
Just try watching The Walking Dead.
I don't imagine it will make me cry like Inside Out did.
Probably not. But you honestly need to be catching up.
I'm going to!
You need to be. Anyway, so season 6. I'm normally quite sniffy about the TV show. In the past, it's frustrated me because I'm a huge fan of the comics. I love them. I'm annoyed, in the past I've been annoyed that the TV show was never quite as good as the comics. And I was always like, look, you've got this amazing wealth of material to draw from. Don't just have them searching through the woods for half a season. There's so much you could be doing with this. This season, I'd say, is probably the first season that actually sticks closest to the comics. And, I mean, it does its own thing in places, but it's really good. And the finale was superb. It's everything I've known The Walking Dead could be, and it's so nice to finally see it hit that.
Yeah.
So really enjoyed it. Would massively recommend.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I'm gonna watch it. I will. Don't worry.
Okay. Hopefully by the time we do the next episode, because I want to talk about the finale with you.
Maybe.
And that's it for catching up with Jack and Liam, I believe.
Yeah.